Hi, I'm Annie LePay, the Vice President of Strategy and Impact at Pivot Energy. And when we build projects at Pivot Energy, we're not just thinking about producing clean energy, we're thinking about land stewardship, long term community impacts, and other ways that we can benefit the local populations. I'm excited to share with you today Pivot Energy's unique approach to purpose driven solar development.
And I'm Sam Frick. We are members of the Community Engagement and Impact team, and this is what Community First Solar looks like at Pivot Energy. Pivot is a purpose-driven solar developer that builds, owns, and operates community-scale solar and storage projects across the U.S. What does the term purpose-driven solar mean?
Thanks, Sam. Well, let me explain a little bit about Pivot Energy. We've been around since 2009, and we have about 4 gigawatts of solar development in our pipeline, projects that we are operating or constructing or planning to develop. That's about 1,800 unique solar projects across 20 different states and over 100 different communities across the U.S. We help businesses, utilities, and corporate clients meet their clean energy goals. And what sets Pivot apart is that we are a B Corporation, and we're one of the few solar developers that signed on to SEBA's purpose-driven solar development platform. Let's talk about the purpose-driven development principles that Pivot has signed on to. We are looking at projects that help support climate, conservation, and communities. And we're going to delve into all 3 of those today in this chat. But in addition to those 3 principles, Pivot is also investing in U.S. manufacturing. This year, we announced a partnership with Silfab Solar, which is a Canadian company that has manufacturing facilities in Washington State and South Carolina. We are their second largest customer now for their South Carolina plant. And we're going to be getting delivery of US made panels starting in Q3 of this year. And that's going to be a multi-year partnership where each year the percentage of our portfolio that has US made panels continues to grow and grow. Sam, let's dig into the 3 C's of purpose-driven development. So climate and emissions, conservation, and helping communities. Tell me a little bit about how Pivot is developing in a way that really supports climate action.
Yeah, the current lifetime offset estimate for Pivot's completed or sold projects is equivalent to reducing 260,000 metric tons of CO2. This is equivalent to reducing nearly 570 million pounds of CO2, taking more than 60,000 gas-powered passenger vehicles off the road, or displacing the need to burn 290 million pounds of coal.
That's amazing.
Next, let's talk about conservation. So Pivot is doing amazing things with agrivoltaics. Can you tell us a little bit more about what agrivoltaics is and what Pivot is doing on some of its sites?
Pivot Energy is a leader in agrivoltaic practices. And what that means is that we're not just producing solar power on these projects, we're also incorporating agricultural production onto the sites. On some sites, this means that we are grazing sheep as a vegetation management tool instead of mowing with a mechanical mower. On other sites, it means we're adding bees to the property and we are producing local honey that is being sold into the community. And increasingly, we're looking at some true dual use sites. So this is where we are actually growing crops under the panels in between the rows. So I want to talk about 2 sites that we're really proud of at Pivot Energy. One is in Weld County, and at this site, we're partnering with a local farmer to grow alfalfa as well as root vegetables under the panels. And that produce is going to be sold back into the local community. It's actually the largest community scale true dual use project in development in the country right now. And we've added drip irrigation so that the farmer can continue to preserve his water rights over the long-term lease that we have on the land. Another project that's really exciting is down in Mesa County, Colorado. We are partnering with Colorado State University to study the soil quality under the panels as we add different types of crops between the rows. An excited development is that we are actually growing grapes in between the rows as well. And we're going to be producing our own Pivot wine in the next couple of years.
Now let's talk about our favorite topic, community. What is Pivot doing to invest in the local community and support the local community?
It is indeed my favorite topic. So Sam and I both sit on the community engagement and impact team, and our role at Pivot really is to make sure that our projects are benefiting the local community and taking their input into our project design. At Pivot, we are working on projects that bring true local job opportunities to the area. We are building projects that are going to contribute 20 to 40 years worth of property tax revenue to the local community. Those dollars are being spent to improve roads, to work on safety measures within the community. It's a real economic development impact that we're having. But in addition to that, Pivot has a unique commitment among our peers to donate to local community initiatives for every project we develop. So this initiative in 2024 resulted in us donating $400,000 to 18 different community groups across the markets where we're actively developing projects. And with this partnership promise that we have at Pivot, we really invest in 3 different community types of initiatives. The first one is reducing energy bills for low-income families who are struggling to pay their energy bills. So for this social impact area, we're partnering with groups that are providing energy bill assistance or that are doing pre-weatherization funds for folks who are trying to increase the energy efficiency and the safety and the quality of their homes. The second area of social impact that we fund is around workforce development. And we're focused on working with local community colleges and other training organizations that are providing pathways for local residents to get into the solar industry or other renewable energy industries. And then finally, we invest in local community initiatives that are working to strengthen rural economies and focused on land stewardship initiatives. So in this bucket of work, we partner with a lot of 4-H clubs that are investing in the youth in rural communities, and we are looking to partner with other groups that are focused on soil conservation and water protection in rural and ranching communities across the U.S. Our community investment program to date has invested $1.3 million into community-based organizations across the U.S., and we have millions more pledged across our 3 social impact areas. Sam, you lead our community engagement and impact work across most of our key markets. I would love to hear from you. What else are we doing in communities that you think sets Pivot apart in terms of our impact?
Yeah, so at Pivot, we have a standardized 3 touch point community engagement commitment. And what that means is we're really engaging early and consistently. It's so important that we are having a two-way conversation with neighbors, those surrounding the project, and the broader community so that we can understand their needs and incorporate that into creating true, meaningful community benefits. It's really important that we hear from them and have that conversation about what matters to them. So what we do is we host a community meeting for all of our projects, and it's really important to get that face-to-face time to get input, to understand what the local community priorities are so we can really have a thoughtful community benefits planning process. It's important that we understand what matters and what the priorities are. Otherwise, we're just guessing, we're just assuming. And what I've been surprised by every time when I sit in these community meetings is we have a certain idea of what's going to, say, provide benefit and be a great project. And we always get so many ideas that make the project better. There are oftentimes we end up changing the layout of the project, adding certain screening measures, knowing what kinds of crops or plants, native habitats, what works in that area. The local community, they are the experts, and we really do see them as a critical part to making the project successful. Sometimes it makes sense to say have a community garden, and other times we've heard this is a busy street. This is not where we want a community garden. We'd rather have you invest in another place, in another way. So it's important that we stay open and really see them as experts to be able to help make the project better.
That's a really thoughtful answer, Sam, and thank you so much for being part of our community engagement and impact team. At Pivot Energy, we believe that distributed generation is one of the best ways to bring everyone along in the clean energy transition. Thank you for joining us today to learn about Pivot's purpose-driven approach to solar development, and we look forward to staying in touch. If you're a local landowner, a corporate client, or just a regular citizen who wants to learn more about solar, drop us a link and we'd love to stay connected. We have a ton of video resources on our channel for commercial and corporate clients and landowners, so subscribe and check out the videos on how we can partner. To learn more about us, go to pivotenergy.net. Thanks, and see you next time.